Hello, family. This is your sister Candice Light, and I'm here because I want to share with you a dream I had about Barack Obama. This dream was not recently, but this dream was about maybe the ending of 2023, and I have only shared this with maybe one or two other people, but I feel like now is such a time to release these dreams and to let God's people know. And I also want to share my dream about Satan or Hasatan with you also. So there's two dreams I'm about to share with you, but this first one is my Barack Obama dream. I was in a place, and it looked like I was kind of out in a foreign country. I knew it was a different land because it didn't look anything like what I'm used to seeing here in America. And it was like I was on foreign soil somewhere far, like I don't know if I was in Palestine or I don't know, but I was somewhere far out in a foreign land. And as I was walking through this ancient foreign like ruin, or like it was like a, I could describe it like a colonnade or a brick building. Not a brick building like we used to, but kind of like a colonnade, if I could call it that. And I was walking through this colonnade, but it was ancient. It was like an ancient colonnade, kind of like an ancient looking city. So I'm having a hard time trying to describe it. But as I was walking through this place, um, I noticed the deserts, and I noticed, like, I was like, wow, look, this is like I'm in ancient Palestine. And as I looked out into the distance, I saw a man. And this man, he didn't look familiar at all. I could only see the back of his head, and he was looking out into the world. He was looking out, like he was looking at the entire world. And as I approached him, I got closer and closer to him. And as I got up closer on him, I just knew from the back of his stature, I said, that's Barack Obama. And he turned around and looked at me, but he was not looking at me, he was looking through me. And his eyes were very piercing. His eyes were very red. They were red as blood. Like his eyes was a red I never seen. Like they were so red. And they were also kind of like a ruby red, but it was a very unusual red. He began to look straight through me, and I was like, oh. And I just heard the son of perdition, and I knew. I said, oh my goodness. I said, Barack Obama must be coming back. I don't know when or how, but I think in the future, y'all, he may come back, because he was looking out over at, it was like he was looking over at the world. He was looking at the entire world, and he looked like he had plans, like a world domination or something, but it was very sinister. But I did see him in my dreams, Barack Obama. And this was in about 2023, the end of 2023. And I just wanted to share that dream with you. And I also have one more dream. This dream took place about maybe a month or two ago. And the dream started out, I was with a man in the dream. And the man who was with me, we were hiding behind some boxes. And I think I knew this man. I felt like I knew him, but I'm really not sure. And so he didn't talk to me or anything. We were just hiding in a dark place because for some reason we had to be hid out. And we were searching for food. And the food that we saw was in boxes, and it was on the back of a building, and we were gonna go and take the food. The man never did talk. He just was there. And as we began to run toward the food, all of a sudden, a light came out of nowhere, and it kind of just spiraled around, and it was like a whirlwind, and we were just out in the open. We couldn't hide, and we were standing there looking, and I saw a large, like a tall 9 to 10 foot woman. She was black. She was very, very gorgeous. She was as black as midnight, and she had like gold lips and gold eyeshadow. She was very, very, very gorgeous. And I kept staring at her because I had never seen anything like it before. And I said, we were talking to each other through our mind, and she just kept looking at me like, and I was looking at her, and I was looking up at her because I was amazed that she looked like a statue. I was like, oh my goodness, what a sight. What a beautiful sight. And she told me in her mind, she told me her name was Hashatan. And I said, and I knew immediately, this is the devil. This is the devil. And what really amazed me in the dream was the fact that she was a woman, and that how beautiful she was. And I had never seen such. And she began to tell me, like, she was doing things with her hands, like she was whirling around something in her hand, and it was looked like fog. And then she balled it up in her hand and she blew it at me, and I kind of jumped back, but I was protected because there were two large angels behind me, one on my right and one on my left side, that were guarding me and protecting me from this danger. And the man that was with me, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some people came out, and they were soulless beings because their eyes were black. They didn't have any life in their eyes, but they were walking around committing fornication in the dream. They were doing disgusting, deceitful fornication acts. I mean, just out in the open, in the public, like they just were right out in front of everybody to be seen. And the man that was with me, that was hiding with me, he went over and was with them. And I was saying no, but he went anyway. It was as if I couldn't, there was nothing I could do about it, because he didn't have any soul in him, and he wanted to be with them. And so he joined with them in doing all these treacherous acts. And Hasatan just stood there, and she loved every single moment of it. And she just looked at me. She hated me with such a hate. And she told me in her mind, we were doing it was like telepathy. And she told me in her mind, I am going to get you. She hated me. She hated me with a ancient passion. She hated me. And I said, no, you're not. And she said, oh, yes, I am. And she began to do these different things, making different colors come about. And she was doing all kind of things. And the angels that were behind me, they put something they shielded me with like a cloak. And before she could blow this powder at me, I was whisked away into another part of the dream. In the second part of the dream, I was inside of a house.